Hello everyone, Katie here, and welcome back to another video. So as you might be able to tell from the title, we're going to be doing a Copic alternative video. I'm going to be comparing these Parkoo markers, which I've already done a review on, and if you want to check that out, it will be on the screen, versus my Copic markers. Now, Copic markers and Parkoo markers are a little different to start. Copic markers have a brush tip and a chisel tip, which means you can get squishy, soft details and, line variation, whereas the Parkoo markers do have a bullet tip and a chisel tip, so the bullet tip is a little stiffer, and you can't get nice line variation, but that doesn't mean they aren't a good marker. So I'm going to be kind of comparing them and contrasting and stuff like that. So I hope you're excited. Now, just to address all the future comments I'm probably going to get, yes, I realize that is a big price difference in the thumbnail. The thumbnail is representing the full price of these Parkoo markers and the price of the Copics that I own. So, before you yell at me for clickbait, it is honest and all that stuff, so I thought I would just throw that out there. So we are going to be coloring this picture twice. I'm starting out with coloring it with the Parkoo markers. Now the speed paint is going by kind of quickly, I apologize for that. But we're going to be testing the markers and less looking at the speed paint, but speed paint here is for your pleasure, I suppose. So, with the bullet tip and drawing, it does take a little bit longer to lay out the color. You can use the chisel tip to get larger areas, and that is what I found that I had to do. And with these markers, I find that laying dark to light is a little bit better than light to dark, just because of the way they layer. You can get way too dark really quickly if you're not careful. However, I find that the bullet tip on these is really nice. It's sturdy, and honestly, it's great for getting into fine details like you would think brush tip is, and it is, but the bullet tip is actually really good for getting into small areas, and you don't have to worry about accidentally coloring out of the lines, which I find really nice. And honestly, bullet tips, I don't use them too much in my artwork, but I find that they're nice, and they don't blend as well together like with the bullet tip, but you can certainly get blends, you just have to be patient. As far as the color blending with the Parkoo markers, aside from the bullet tip itself, I think the colors blend really well together, especially the skin tone. I had a lot of fun blending these markers together, and I was pleasantly surprised with them. They blended really well, especially for not having a brush tip. Also, another thing I noticed is that these markers really aren't that streaky. If you're quick enough, they actually dry to a really nice streakless finish. So, I find that that is a bonus. And I've used these markers quite a bit, and I have found that they really don't run out of ink, so they do seem to carry a lot of ink as well. They're not refillable, which is kind of a meh. But if you're looking for a really cheap marker, they're only about 50 cents a marker, 25 for a set of 48. So honestly, I think that's a really good deal. I also think one of the biggest differences between these markers is the color selection. As far as I know, the Parkoo markers only come in 48 colors with no open stock and no refills. And the Copics actually come with 358 colors, and you can get refills and nib replacements and stuff like that. Now onto the Copic side of this. It's really nothing too much to talk about here. I use Copics all the time, so I am kind of well versed in them. They have a squishy soft brush tip, which I find is super beneficial for blending and stuff like that. You can get nice soft blends, and it makes it easier in my opinion. I did use colors as close to the Parkoo markers as I had in Copics. I don't own a lot of them that are similar, so I tried my best. With the Copics, I found that sometimes the color does get a little streaky. It dries a little quicker than I would like it to, but I do have the benefit of having that brush tip marker, so it's a little easier to kind of blend it out and shade over it. As far as color blending, I think everybody knows that Copics blend really well together, especially if you're quick enough. You can make some really amazing blends even with colors that aren't the same shade or color family. As far as ink amount is concerned, depending on the type of marker you have, whether you have a sketch or a chow, will kind of determine how much ink is in there. I find that they do have a lot of ink, however, they do also come with refills, so you don't have to keep buying markers, even after you're, done with it, and it's emptied and dry, and you're very sad. So, all in all, I like both of these markers, but you tell me, which one do you like better? There is one on the left, which is the Parkoo, and then there is one on the right, which is the Copic. Of course, there are some color discrepancies, like I said earlier, but let me know which one you like more in the comments down down below. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to join our cute squid pod if you haven't already to keep updated on new videos. I also have social media in the links below if you want to check that out. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, my adorable squidlings, toodaloo!